Realty One Group 5-star. Today I'm talking with Amy Holdorf from Coiled Designs. Amy is an incredible artist. She makes paper quillings that have sold to people all over the world. I'm actually fortunate enough to own a couple of her pieces. She made some really beautiful pieces for each of our daughters when they're born. We have them hanging right above their beds in their bedroom. I'll post some pictures of those later. But Amy, thank you so much for being here today and talking to me.
Absolutely, thanks for asking me.
So first of all, can you explain to anyone who might not know what paper quilling is?
Yes, paper quilling has a very weird name because it's not what you'd think it would be. They're not actually sure why it's called paper quilling. It goes back so far. They think it was invented between the 13th and 15th century by nuns. Paper quilling is taking very thin strips of paper, usually about 1/8 of an inch, and then possibly it started with quilling because they would turn it around a quill, a feather, in order to get a curve in it. Then they would keep curving it until it would create almost like onion layers, pinch them into designs, and then use it to create beautiful artworks that were very intricate.
Great, well, what a history. Can you explain how you first became interested in quilling?
Because quilling has a very strange name, I didn't know it was called quilling when I got interested in it. I was looking for a craft to do one night online and found a picture of it and said, yeah, I could do that. And then I liked it and it was so fun, but I couldn't figure out what it was called because it has a weird name. So I finally eventually found it was quilling and then did all of my research on it, and it just stuck with me. It was just such a niche hobby that relied heavily on detail work, which is something that I love, and that I was able to show more people. I love showing people quilling.
And so how did you decide to turn your hobby into a business?
I had so many pieces of quilling laying around the house because I kept doing it. I would do the same piece of Pokemon is my particular thing. I would do the same Pokemon 3 or 4 times until I got it right, that I would have just all these extra copies, and I would get compliments on them, and they didn't seem to think it was as weird as I thought it was, and they said, yeah, no, I'll buy that, and I said, okay, buy that, I've got 12 of them. So
you first started selling your Pokemon?
I first started selling it to get them out of the house because I have an entire room full of quilling stuff, and people liked it, so I'd love to share that passion with other people.
Great. And so when did you decide to actually open, you have an Etsy store, when did you decide to open that?
I believe I opened it in 2018. It was new to me. I have never sold anything. I never went to any craft fairs, but it was a lot of work first taking the pictures of everything and then setting it all up, and then it got kind of big. It got, I think I've sold almost 200 pieces so far in the last 2 years, and for a niche geek Pokemon quilling, Game of Thrones quilling thing, I think that's impressive. I think it's so strange that so many people like where my two interests converge.
Apparently there's a lot of people like you.
Yeah. It's nice having a community.
Yeah. So we've talked about Pokemon, you mentioned Game of Thrones.
Yes.
What other types of quillings do you make?
Currently, those are the main 2 I do. I'll do other quillings for, as you mentioned, for family. I'll do baby name quillings. So Chloe and Addison and Stella and Bailey. I've done all of those names with quilling designs, each with a different theme. And those are so fun to do, but they're very time intensive, which means it's hard to sell them online because they're so personalized and they take such a long time. People don't want to wait a year for their baby name to come out. But I'll also do other custom orders. I've done a fantasy dragon. I've done a personalized sigil for a family. They wanted 3 thistle leaves coming out on a family crest that they had designed themselves, and I was able to do that in the style of Game of Thrones for them. I've done a lot of custom orders, and those are, I think, one of my favorite things to do is when someone comes with their specific story and says, I want this in paper quilling, and that's awesome.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. So how can people find you if they're interested in seeing your work?
Primarily I'm on Etsy. I'm exclusive on Etsy right now, but I'll definitely take any custom order that you like, so if you can email me at coiled.designs@gmail.com and just tell me your idea. I'd love to work with you.
Wonderful. So is there anything else we should know about Coiled Designs?
Mostly just that I do the custom works, that it does take a little bit of extra time, but I really work with you. I'll send you emails back and forth and just make sure, I'll show you the video time lapses of me doing it, and you can critique it and any changes you want. I love working with people on custom orders.
Awesome. So everybody check out Coiled Designs on Etsy. Go check out Amy's work. Like I mentioned, I'll post some pictures of the pieces I have. She talked about the baby names that she does. She made one for my daughter Addie. Her full name's Addison. She made one for Bailey. I think maybe our next kid will name like Maximilian or something.
Oh, it might be more than a year.
Just to get a really long, wonderful quilling out of you. But I'll post pictures of Addie and Bailey's quillings, and you'll be able to see they're just so amazingly detailed. I mean, we've had these pieces for a couple of years, and still sometimes I'll look at them and notice new little details in them just because they're so intricate and amazing. So I'll post all of Amy's info so you can check out her Etsy store. I'll post her email address so you can look at her work. These quillings are, they make great additions to your home decor. They're really great, unique gifts if you know someone who's into an artistic gift like that. So thank you, Amy, so much for talking with me today. It was great talking with you.
Yeah, thank you very much.